The scent of sandalwood and decay is the first thing I register. It is the same scent that clung to my burial shroud, the same stench that filled my nostrils as I drew my last breath. My eyes fly open, not to the cold darkness of a grave, but to the gilded ceiling of my sister's antechamber. My hands fly to my throat, expecting the phantom pain of the poisoned needle that ended my first life. Instead, I feel the smooth, unblemished skin of a girl of 17. I scramble to the vanity, my fingers gripping the polished bronze. The face that stares back at me is young, innocent, untouched by the ravages of the court. It is Lin Yuxiang, the forgotten daughter, the one who was never supposed to matter. I am alive. I have been given a second chance. Before I can even draw a full breath, the door crashes open. My sister, Lin Miling, sweeps in like a storm, her silks rustling with the weight of her ambition. Her face is a mask of practiced concern, but I see the truth beneath it. I saw it before, in my past life, and I was too blind to recognize it. She is a predator, and she has come to claim her prey. Yuxiang, she coos, her voice dripping with poisoned honey. Father has received the Emperor's decree. He is to select new consorts for the palace. I was so worried for you. I knew you would be overcome with fear. But you must be brave. We have already sent your name to the palace. You will be the one to go. The words slam into me like a physical blow. I remember them. I remember the trembling girl I used to be, the girl who nodded and wept and accepted her fate. I went in her place. I was sacrificed to the court, used as a pawn to advance her schemes, and within a year I was dead. A needle dipped in poison, delivered by a hand I never saw coming. My sister's hand. She had smiled at my funeral. She had worn red dot, but I am not that girl anymore. I rise from the vanity, slowly, deliberately. I meet her gaze, and I let a slow, calculated smile spread across my lips. The smile that does not belong to the timid Yuxiang. The smile of someone who has seen the other side and returned with fire in her blood. Sister, I say, my voice a calm whisper that cuts through her performance, are you unwell? You must be confusing me with someone else. I would never presume to take your place. The Emperor has requested you, the famed jewel of our family, the beauty who has been praised in every poem from here to the northern border. Do not be so ungrateful as to send a lesser daughter. The Emperor's wrath would be terrifying. Her face flushes an ugly shade of red. She is not used to defiance. She has spent her entire life bending everyone to her will, and I have been her most obedient tool. You insolent little, she starts, but I cut her off, my voice rising just enough to command the room. I will be leaving the manor today, I announce, stepping past her toward the door. I have decided to take the vows and join the temple at Clear Spring. It is a more peaceful life, far from the schemes and betrayals of this house. The temple at Clear Spring is where the old Empress Dowager resides, the woman everyone believes has faded into irrelevance. But I know better. In my past life, I heard whispers. I saw the shadow she cast. She is the true power behind the throne, and she is the only one who can protect me from what is coming. My sister lunges forward, her fingers closing around my wrist like iron talons. You will do no such thing, she hisses, her mask of civility gone. Father has already accepted the decree. If you run, you will bring shame upon this entire family. Do you understand what that means? You will be nothing. Less than nothing. I twist my wrist free, my movements sharp and deliberate. I have been nothing my entire life, I say, my voice ice. I am tired of being nothing. If I leave this house, I am no longer your pawn. If I stay, I am dead. You have already made that choice for me, sister. Now I am making mine. She recoils as if I have slapped her. I see it in her eyes, the flicker of recognition. She knows something has changed. She does not understand what, but she knows the girl she controlled is gone. I walk out of the room before she can recover, my heart pounding against my ribs, but my steps steady. I have no time to waste. I do not have a plan, not yet, but I have knowledge. I know who to trust. I know who to fear. And I know that the temple at Clear Spring is not just a refuge. It is a weapon. I am halfway across the garden when I see my father storming toward me. Lord Lin is a tall man, broad-shouldered, with a face that has been carved by years of political maneuvering. He is the kind of man who believes his children are his property, and he has never hidden his contempt for me. Yuxiang, he barks, his voice echoing across the courtyard. Where do you think you are going? Your sister has told me of your disgraceful behavior. You will return to your chambers at once. You will prepare for the palace. You will do your duty. I stop walking. I face him, and for the first time in my life, I do not cower. Father, I say, my tone soft and chilling, the Empress Dowager herself has summoned me to the temple. She has expressed a personal interest in my company. Are you going to counter an imperial decree? He freezes. There is no decree, of course. The Empress Dowager does not know I exist. But my father does not know that. His ambition is matched only by his paranoia. He glances over his shoulder, as if expecting imperial guards to leap from the bushes and drag him away for treason. The Empress Dowager. He stammers. She has never spoken of you. Why would she? Perhaps she has her reasons, I interrupt, my voice dripping with false humility. Perhaps she has heard of my sister's schemes and wishes to warn me. Or perhaps she simply wishes to meet the daughter who has never given a chance to shine. Do you want to risk insulting her by keeping me here? His face contorts with rage and confusion. He wants to scream at me, to drag me back to my room by my hair, but he cannot. The Empress Dowager's name is a shield I have stolen, and he is too much of a coward to strike through it. Fine, he spits, his voice trembling with barely contained fury. Go. But know this, daughter. If you bring shame upon this house, you will be disowned. You will be nothing. You will have no family to return to. I smile. It is the sweetest smile I have ever worn. I have never had a family to return to, I say. But I will have the Empress Dowager. And that is more than you will ever have. I walk past him, my head held high. The gate looms before me, and I can feel the weight of my sister's gaze on my back. She is watching from the window, her face a mask of fury and disbelief. She does not know what to do with this new version of me, this girl who fights back. She will think of something. She will send men to drag me back, to lock me away, to silence me forever. I know her. I know the lengths she will go to protect her schemes. The carriage is waiting. I climb inside, and as the driver flicks the reins, I allow myself a single, shuddering breath. I am out. I am free. But the city beyond these walls is a maze of knives and whispers. I am a girl with no allies, no army, no power. I have only my memory of the future, and my knowledge of the one man who can save me from the fate that awaits me. I have a single destination in mind. It is not the temple. It is the estate of General Wei Ran, the most feared warrior in the kingdom, the man my sister betrayed to rise to power. He is the only one with enough strength to stand against her. The only one with enough hatred in his heart to destroy everything she has built. He is also the man who will die if I do not intervene. In my past life, he was dead within a year, poisoned by the same hand that took my life. The carriage rattles through the streets, and I feel the city closing in around me. I do not know if I can reach him in time. I do not know if he will believe me. I do not know if I am walking into freedom or into another trap. But I know one thing with absolute certainty. I will not die again. Not as a pawn. Not as a sacrifice. I will carve my own path through this cruel, beautiful world, and I will make them all remember the name Lin Yuxiang. My carriage is barely a mile from the manor when I hear the thunder of hooves behind me. I do not need to look. I know who it is. My sister's personal guard, a brute named Zhang He with a face like a slab of meat and a heart to match. He has been her shadow for years, the hand that carries out her dirtiest work. I pull back the curtain just enough to see him signal his men to surround the carriage, cutting off any path of escape. The driver pulls the horses to a halt, his hands trembling on the reins. I have been expecting this. I knew she would not let me go quietly. Zhang He leans down from his saddle, his voice a mocking drawl. My lady, your sister worries for your safety. The streets are dangerous for a woman traveling alone. She insists you return home at once. I let the curtain fall and take a slow breath. The fear is there, lurking beneath my skin, but I do not let it show. I remember this man from my past life. I remember the way he smiled when he dragged me to the palace gates. I remember the way he looked the other way when the poison was slipped into my tea. He is not just my sister's servant. He is her accomplice, and he will die with her when I am done. I push the curtain aside and step out of the carriage, my movements unhurried, my expression serene. "Oh, thank the heavens you are here," I exclaim, pressing a hand to my chest in mock relief. I was just thinking how foolish it was to travel alone. The roads are so dangerous. Please, you must escort me. I am to deliver a private message to General Wei Ran. Zhang He's smug expression falters. His eyes narrow, and I see the flicker of doubt pass across his face. "The general is not to be disturbed," he says, his voice losing some of its earlier arrogance. "He does not receive visitors without prior arrangement." "You are playing games, young lady." I laugh. It is a clear, bell-like sound that cuts through the tension like a blade. "And who are you to decide what the general's business is? He personally requested my presence." "Are you sure you want to be the one to keep him waiting?" I tilt my head, letting my gaze travel over his men. I have heard stories of General Wei's temper. They say he once had a messenger flogged for delivering a letter a day late. I wonder what he would do to a man who kept a guest of his waiting. Zhang He's face pales. He is a bully, but he is not a fool. He knows General Wei's reputation. He knows the general answers to no one, not even the emperor. If I am telling the truth and he delays me, his life is forfeit. If I am lying, he can deal with me later, once I am out of the general's shadow. He hesitates, and in that moment, I know I have won this round. "Fine," he growls, gesturing to his men. "We will escort you to the gates. But do not think this is over. Your sister will have words with you when you return." "She will have to find me first," I murmur, climbing back into the carriage. The ride to General Wei's estate is tense. Zhang He and his men surround me, a cage of steel and suspicion. I do not speak. I do not look at them. I keep my eyes fixed ahead, my mind racing with the words I will need to say. I have no proof of what I am about to tell him. I have only my memory and my desperation. The estate is a fortress of cold gray stone, its walls lined with archers and its gates guarded by men who look like they have never smiled in their lives. The carriage stops and Zhang He dismounts, his face a mask of reluctant deference. "State your business," the gatekeeper barks, his hand resting on his sword. Zhang He opens his mouth to speak, but I step out before he can say a word. "I am Lin Yuxiang," I say, my voice ringing clear and steady. "I have urgent information for the general. Information about a plot against his life. He will want to see me." The gatekeeper's eyes flicker over me, taking in my silk robes, my unguarded face. I see the skepticism in his gaze, but I also see the flicker of concern. The general's enemies are many, and the threat of assassination is a constant shadow over this house. "Wait here," he says, and disappears inside. The silence stretches like a blade. Zhang He shifts uneasily behind me, his hand inching toward his own sword. I keep my back straight, my eyes forward. I feel the weight of his gaze on me, the unspoken threat. If the general refuses me, if he sends me away, Zhang He will have me back in my sister's clutches before the sun sets. I do not let myself think about what she will do to me then. The gatekeeper returns, his expression unreadable. "The general will see you. Alone." He gestures for me to follow, and I step through the gate without looking back. I do not need to see Zhang He's face to know the fury that is twisting it. I am out of his reach now, at least for the moment. The general's receiving hall is a cavernous room, its walls lined with weapons and trophies of war. The air smells of smoke and iron, and the fire in the great hearth casts long, dancing shadows across the floor. General Wei Ran stands at the far end of the room, his back to me. He is a mountain of a man, broad-shouldered and scarred, his presence filling the space like a storm waiting to break. He does not turn to face me. "The Lin family's forgotten daughter," he rumbles, his voice like grinding stone. "You have a lot of nerve coming here. Your family's spies are my enemies." "My family's spies are my enemies too," I reply, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. "That is why I am here. You want to destroy the Empress's faction, General. I know them. I know their secrets. I know how my sister planted a spy in your household, a woman who feeds information to the palace." I pause, letting the words sink in. "I also know you have a terrible, lingering injury from the war. An injury you believe the imperial physicians are helping you with. They are poisoning you, General. Slowly. They're ensuring you become weak and docile. He turns then, his eyes blazing with a fury that makes my blood run cold. What proof do you have? He growls, his voice barely above a whisper. You come into my house, speak of plots and poison, and you expect me to believe you on nothing but your word. You are a child. A woman with no power, no influence. Why should I trust you? I meet his gaze, and I do not flinch. Because I am the only one who has ever told you the truth, I say. The proof is in the medicine. The physician is giving you a concoction called Tranquil Night. It is supposed to ease your pain, but it contains a slow-acting nerve agent. A single dose is harmless. Over time, it destroys the body's ability to heal itself. You will grow weaker. Your mind will grow clouded. In a year, you will be dead and no one will suspect foul play. They will say it was the war wounds, the old injury finally claiming you. His face is unreadable, but I see the tension in his jaw. He has felt the change in his body, I realize. He has known something was wrong, but he has not known what. You know a great deal for a girl who has never left her father's house, he says slowly. How? I cannot tell him the truth. I cannot tell him that I have already lived this life, that I watched him die, that his death was the first domino that led to my own. I have my sources, I say instead. The same sources who told me about the spy in your household. A woman named Chunhua, a maid in your kitchen. She is the one who has been reporting your movements to the palace. She is the one who knows when you take your medicine, when you meet with your officers, when you are at your weakest. Something shifts in his expression. I see it, a flicker of recognition. He knows the name. He knows the woman. And he knows I could not have known it unless someone had told me. If you are lying, he says, his voice low and dangerous, if this is some trick to get close to me, I am not lying. I cut him off. You have the physician in your employ. Call him here. Search his quarters. I promise you, you will find the poison. And when you do, you will know that I am the only person in this kingdom who wants to see you alive. For a long moment, he just stares at me. I feel the weight of his gaze, searching for any sign of deceit. I feel like a mouse in the shadow of a hawk, and I know that one wrong word, one flicker of fear, will seal my fate. Then, he does something I do not expect. He laughs. It is a dry, rasping sound, like stones grinding together. You, he says, pointing a gnarled finger at me, are nothing like the rest of your lily-livered clan. Fine. You have my protection. You will stay here, under my watch. But, if you try to deceive me, the next poison you taste will be from my own hand. I let out a breath I did not realize I was holding. I am safe. At least for now. The general turns away, barking orders to his men to seize the physician and search the kitchens for Chunhua. I stand in the center of the room, my legs trembling beneath me, and I let myself feel the victory. I have done it. I have planted the seeds of my first counterattack. But as I am led to my new chamber, a small room in the eastern wing of the fortress, the weight of what I have done settles on my shoulders. I have made an ally of the most dangerous man in the kingdom, but I have also made an enemy of everyone he despises. My family will not stop hunting me. The Empress will not forget the girl who uncovered her plot. And somewhere, in the shadows of the Forbidden City, the Emperor is watching all of us, waiting to see which pieces fall first. I lie down on the narrow bed, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, and I allow myself a single moment of weakness. The tears come, hot and silent, trailing down my temples and disappearing into my hair. I am so tired. I am so afraid. But I am alive. I am alive, and I have a chance. I close my eyes, and I make a promise to the ghost of the girl I used to be. I will not fail again. I will not be a pawn. I will not be a sacrifice. I will carve my own path through this cruel world, and I will make them all pay. Somewhere in the night, I hear the distant sound of shouting. The physician has been found. The poison has been discovered. My victory is complete. But as I drift toward sleep, I know this is only the beginning. The war is just starting, and I am standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down into the abyss. I have survived the fall once. I will survive it again. The days that follow are a blur of strategy and survival. General Wei's men move like shadows through the fortress, rooting out every trace of my sister's influence. The physician is broken within hours, his confessions spilling out like blood from a wound. He names names. He gives dates. He provides the thread that leads directly to my sister's private chambers. I do not gloat. I do not celebrate. I simply watch and I wait. Chunhua is found trying to flee through the servants' quarters. She is dragged before the general, her face streaked with tears and terror. I stand in the corner, silent and still, as he questions her. She breaks quickly, as I knew she would. She reveals the network of informants my sister has woven across the city. She reveals the coded messages, the secret meetings, the payments made in gold and promises. She reveals the full scope of my sister's ambition, and it is more terrifying than I ever imagined. "You have done well," General Wei says to me that evening, his voice gruff but not unkind. We are alone in his study, the fire crackling between us. He has not thanked me, not in so many words, but I see the shift in his demeanor. He no longer looks at me like a threat. He looks at me like an equal. "Your sister is a viper, and she has been nesting in my house for months. If you had not come when you did, I would be dead within the year. I did not come for your gratitude," I say, meeting his gaze. "I came for your protection, and for the chance to destroy her before she destroys me." He nods slowly, his fingers drumming against the armrest of his chair. "You have that chance now. The evidence we have gathered is enough to bring her before the Emperor. But it will not be easy. Your sister is not without allies. The Empress will protect her, and the Empress has the Emperor's ear. If we move too quickly, if we show our hand too soon, she will slip through our fingers. I have thought of this. I have lain awake at night, turning the pieces over in my mind, searching for the perfect move. We do not go to the Emperor, I say. Not yet. We go to the Empress Dowager." He raises an eyebrow. "The old Empress, she has been in seclusion for years. She has no power, no influence. She is a relic of a bygone era. She is the only one in this kingdom who can defeat the Empress," I reply, my voice quiet but firm. "She is the one who placed the Empress on the throne. She is the one who holds the secrets that could destroy her. The Empress Dowager has been waiting for an opportunity, a reason to reclaim her power. We will give her that reason. We will give her the evidence, and we will let her decide how to use it." The general studies me for a long moment, his dark eyes searching mine. "You are not just a girl seeking revenge," he says slowly. "You are a strategist." "Where did you learn to think like this?" I do not answer. I cannot. The truth is too strange, too impossible to speak aloud. I learned it in my death. I learned it in the shadows of the Forbidden City, watching the pieces fall around me. I learned it because I had no choice. I learned it from my enemies, I say instead. And I learned it from watching you." He does not press. He simply nods, and the plan is set in motion. The journey to Clear Spring Temple is arduous, winding through mountains and forests that seem to swallow the sun. I travel with a small contingent of the general's most trusted men, their faces hard, and their hands never far from their weapons. I do not know if the Empress Dowager will see me. I do not know if she will believe me. But I have no other path, and I walk it with my head held high. The temple is a sanctuary of white stone and red pillars, nestled in a valley that feels suspended between earth and sky. The air is thin and cold, and the silence is so profound that I can hear my own heartbeat. A young nun greets us at the gate, her eyes soft and her voice even softer. "The Empress Dowager has been expecting you," she says, and I feel the ground shift beneath my feet. She leads me through a maze of courtyards and meditation halls, past gardens of bamboo and lotus, until we reach a small, simple chamber at the heart of the temple. The Empress Dowager is seated on a cushion, her back to the door, her gaze fixed on a single blooming plum branch. She is older than I remember, her hair white as snow and her face lined with years of silent suffering. But her eyes, when she turns to look at me, are sharp as blades. "Lin Yuxiang," she says, her voice like the rustle of dry leaves. "I have been waiting for you. I knew you would come." I drop to my knees, my heart pounding in my chest. "You knew, Your Highness, how could you know?" She smiles, a thin, knowing smile that does not reach her eyes. "Because I have seen the same thing you have seen," she says. "I have felt the same poison in my own blood. I know what your sister is planning. I know what the Empress is plotting. And I know that you, Lin Yuxiang, are the only one who can stop them." I do not know how she knows. I do not know if she has spies of her own, or if she has simply lived long enough to see the patterns repeat themselves. But it does not matter. She is my ally. She is my weapon. And together, we will bring them down. The Empress is planning to seize the throne, I say, the words spilling out of me like water from a broken dam. She has been poisoning the Emperor for months, weakening his mind, clouding his judgment. She is not content to be a consort. She wants to rule. And she has convinced my sister to help her. They have a network of spies and assassins spread across the kingdom. They have already killed General Wei's physician. They tried to kill the general himself. If we do not act, they will succeed. The Empress Dowager listens in silence, her expression unreadable. When I finish, she rises slowly, her joints creaking with age. I have known about the Empress's ambitions for years, she says. But I have not had the proof I needed to act. Now you have brought me that proof. Now I can move. She turns to face me, and I see the fire in her eyes, the fire that has been banked for too long. I will summon the Emperor, she says. I will show him the evidence. I will force him to see the truth. But I need you to be there. I need you to stand beside me, to speak the words that I cannot speak. Are you ready for that, Lin Yuxiang? Are you ready to face them? I think of my sister. I think of the Empress. I think of the needle that pierced my throat, the darkness that swallowed me. I think of the girl I used to be and the woman I have become. I am ready, I say, my voice steady. I have been ready my whole life. The Empress Dowager nods. Then we will leave at dawn, she says. We will go to the Forbidden City, and we will end this. The journey back to the capital is a blur of fear and anticipation. I do not sleep. I do not eat. I simply sit in the carriage, my mind racing, my heart pounding. The Empress Dowager sits across from me, calm and unshaken, her eyes fixed on the distant horizon. She does not speak. She does not need to. Her presence is enough. When we arrive at the gates of the Forbidden City, the guards do not stop us. They fall to their knees, their faces pale with shock. The Empress Dowager has returned. The old power has risen. The Emperor's throne room is filled with courtiers, their faces a mixture of awe and terror. The Empress sits beside the throne, her smile frozen on her lips. My sister stands among the consorts, her eyes wide with disbelief. She sees me, and I see the hatred burning in her gaze. She thought she had won. She thought I was gone. But I am here. I am alive. And I am ready. The Empress Dowager steps forward, her voice ringing through the hall like a bell. Your Majesty, she says, her gaze fixed on the Emperor, I have come to warn you. There is a viper in your midst. A viper that seeks to destroy you, to steal your throne, to plunge this kingdom into chaos. The Emperor's face pales. He glances at the Empress, and I see the flicker of doubt in his eyes. What are you talking about? He demands. Who is this viper? The Empress Dowager turns to me. Speak, child, she says. Speak the truth. I step forward, my knees trembling, but my voice steady. Your Majesty, I say, the viper is the woman beside you. The Empress. She has been poisoning you for months. She has been plotting with my sister, Lin Miling, to seize the throne. I have the proof. I have the letters. I have the confessions. The court erupts into chaos. The Empress screams, her mask of composure shattering. My sister lunges forward, her eyes wild with rage. Lies, she shrieks. She is lying. She is a madwoman. She has always been jealous of me. But the Emperor is not listening. His eyes are fixed on the Empress, and I see the truth dawning in his gaze. He has felt the poison. He has known something was wrong. He has simply been too afraid to see it. Guards, he says, his voice hollow and cold. Arrest them. Arrest them both. The Empress and my sister are dragged away, screaming and cursing. I stand in the center of the hall, my heart pounding, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I have done it. I have won. But as the court dissolves into chaos, I catch the eye of the Emperor. He is looking at me, and I see something in his gaze that chills me to the bone. It is not gratitude. It is not admiration. It is hunger. He wants me. He wants to claim me. He wants to make me his. I thought I had one. I thought I was free. But I have simply exchanged one cage for another. The the game is not over. It is just beginning. The throne room falls into a stunned silence as the guards drag my sister and the Empress away. Their screams fade into the distance, swallowed by the vast corridors of the Forbidden City. I stand in the center of the hall, my chest heaving, my hands trembling at my sides. The courtiers stare at me with a mixture of awe and fear. I have done the impossible. I have brought down the most powerful woman in the kingdom. I have avenged my death before it even happened. But the Emperor's gaze pins me in place. He rises from his throne, his movements slow and deliberate, his eyes never leaving mine. He is a handsome man, I realize. Young and strong, with a face that could charm the birds from the trees. But I know what lies beneath that charming facade. I know the cruelty, the possessiveness, the hunger that burns in his chest. In my past life, I was just another face in his harem, a forgotten consort who died without ever catching his eye. Now he looks at me like I am the most precious thing he has ever seen. Lin Yuxiang, he says, his voice smooth as silk. You have saved my life. You have exposed a conspiracy that would have destroyed this dynasty. I owe you a debt I can never repay. He steps closer, and I force myself not to step back. Name your reward. Anything you desire, it is yours. Land, gold, titles, power. You have only to speak, and it will be done. I feel the weight of every eye in the room on me. The courtiers are waiting, breath held, to see what I will ask for. They expect me to demand riches, or a position of influence, or perhaps revenge against my family. They expect me to be like every other player in this cruel game. But I am not like them. I have seen the end of this path, and I know where it leads. Your Majesty, I say, my voice steady despite the pounding of my heart, I ask for nothing but my freedom. I wish to return to my life, to live quietly and peacefully, far from the intrigues of the court. That is all I desire. A murmur ripples through the hall. The Emperor's smile falters, just for a moment, before he recovers. Freedom, he repeats, his tone light, but I hear the edge beneath it. You have just uncovered a plot against the throne, and all you ask for is freedom. Surely there is something more you want. A position in my court. A place by my side. I know what he is offering. I know the trap he is laying at my feet. If I accept any position, any title, I will be bound to him forever. I will become another piece on his board, another consort to be used and discarded. I will be no different from the girl I was in my past life. Your Majesty is too kind, I say, lowering my gaze in feigned humility. But I am a simple woman. I have no ambition for power or position. I only wish to live my life on my own terms. The silence stretches between us, heavy and suffocating. I can feel the Emperor's displeasure radiating from him like heat from a forge. He is not used to being refused. He is not used to anyone denying him anything. But he cannot punish me, not now, not in front of the entire court. I have just saved his life. To harm me would be to admit that he is ungrateful, that he is no better than the Empress he has just had arrested. Very well, he says at last, his voice clipped and cold. If that is what you wish, I will grant it. You are free to leave the Forbidden City. You are free to go wherever you please. But know this, Lin Yuxiang. The court does not forget its debts. And I do not forget those who have served me well. It is a promise and a threat, wrapped in the guise of gratitude. I bow low, my heart racing, and I back out of the throne room as quickly as I can. General Wei is waiting for me in the outer courtyard. His face is grim, his eyes scanning the crowd of courtiers and guards that mill about us. You made quite an impression, he says, his voice low. The Emperor is not accustomed to being denied. You have made an enemy today. I have made many enemies, I reply, my voice barely above a whisper. But I have also made allies. And I have survived. That is all that matters. He nods, a grudging respect in his eyes. I have a carriage waiting outside the eastern gate. It will take you wherever you wish to go. My men will escort you to the border, and from there, you will be on your own. I thank him, and I mean it. He has done more for me than anyone else in this kingdom. He has given me a chance to live, to start over, to be free. But as I climb into the carriage and the gates of the Forbidden City close behind me, I cannot shake the feeling that I am being watched. The journey takes me through the heart of the kingdom, past villages and towns and fields of golden rice. I watch the world pass by through the carriage window, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I allow myself to breathe. I am free. I am alive. I have escaped the cage that was built for me. But freedom is a fragile thing. And the Emperor's hunger is not so easily satisfied. I am 3 days into my journey when the first sign of trouble appears. My escort is attacked by masked riders, their faces hidden and their swords gleaming in the fading light. The fight is brief and brutal. General Wei's men are skilled, but they're outnumbered, and I watch in horror as they fall one by one. I do not wait to see the outcome. I leap from the carriage and run, my heart pounding in my chest, my legs carrying me through the tall grass and into the cover of the nearby forest. I run until I cannot run anymore. I collapse against a tree, my lungs burning and my vision swimming. I do not know who attacked us. I do not know if it was the Emperor's men, sent to retrieve me, or my sister's remaining allies, seeking revenge. All I know is that I am alone, lost in a forest, with nothing but the clothes on my back and the shadows closing in around me. I spend the night huddled at the base of a hollow tree, listening to the sounds of the forest. The wolves howl in the distance, and I shiver in the cold. I have no food. I have no water. I have no weapon. I am a girl alone in a world that wants to devour me. But I am not the girl I used to be. I am the girl who died and came back. I am the girl who brought down the Empress. I am the girl who refused the Emperor's offer. I am stronger than I look, and I will not give up. At dawn, I find a stream and drink my fill. I find berries and eat until my stomach stops cramping. I find the road again and I start walking. I do not know where I am going. I do not know what I will find. But I know I will survive. Days pass. I walk until my feet blister and bleed. I sleep in ditches and barns, wherever I can find shelter. I am hungry and tired and covered in dirt, but I am alive. I am still alive. And then, one evening, I see it. A small village nestled in a valley, its houses clustered around a central square. Smoke rises from the chimneys, and I can smell bread baking. My mouth waters. My stomach growls. I stagger toward the village, my legs trembling beneath me. The villagers are wary at first. They do not trust strangers. But I am young and alone and clearly desperate, and they take pity on me. The innkeeper, a kind-faced woman named Auntie Lou, gives me a bowl of soup and a bed for the night. I eat like I have never eaten before, and I sleep like I have never slept before. In the morning, I offer to work. I have no money, no way to pay for my keep. Auntie Lou hesitates, but she needs help, and I am willing. She puts me to work in the kitchen, scrubbing pots and preparing vegetables. It is menial work, beneath the station I was born to, but I do not care. It is honest work. It is safe work. It is freedom. I stay for a week. Then 2. Then 3. I grow to love the village, with its simple rhythms and simple people. I grow to love Auntie Lou, with her warm smile and her gentle scolding. For the first time in my life, I feel like I belong somewhere. But the past has a way of catching up. And the Emperor has a long memory. I am in the square, buying vegetables from the market when I see them. A contingent of Imperial guards, their uniforms crisp and their swords gleaming. They ride through the village like they own it, and I know in my heart that they are looking for me. I drop the vegetables and run. I do not care if I look suspicious. I do not care if they see me. I just run. I run through the alleys, past the houses, toward the forest. I can hear them behind me, shouting, their horses' hooves pounding on the dirt. I reach the forest, and I keep running. I do not look back. I do not stop. I run until my legs give out and I collapse in a heap on the forest floor. They find me, of course. They find me and they drag me back to the village. The innkeeper, Auntie Lou, stands in the doorway of her inn, her face pale and her hands trembling. The captain of the guards, a man named General Lou, dismounts from his horse and looks down at me with cold, empty eyes. Lin Yuxiang, he says, his voice flat and unfeeling. The Emperor has summoned you. You are to return to the Forbidden City at once. No, I say, my voice shaking. I am free. He said I was free. You are free to leave the Forbidden City, General Lou says. You are not free to leave the kingdom. The Emperor has decided that you are too valuable an asset to lose. You will come with us, willingly or not. I look at Annie Lu and I see the fear in her eyes. She is not afraid for herself. She is afraid for me. She knows what awaits me in the Forbidden City. She knows that the Emperor does not forgive, and he does not forget. I will go with you, I say, my voice hollow. But do not harm these people. They have done nothing wrong. General Lu nods, a small, satisfied smile on his lips. Of course. They are not our concern. I am led away, my hands bound and my feet shackled. I am thrown into a carriage and driven back to the Forbidden City. I do not resist. There is no point. The Emperor has shown me that I cannot escape him. He will hunt me to the ends of the earth if he has to. But I am not defeated. I am not broken. I am the girl who died and came back. And if the Emperor thinks he can use me, he is wrong. I will find a way. I will survive. I will carve my own path, no matter how many times he tries to cage me. The carriage rattles through the gates of the Forbidden City, and I am escorted to a small room in the Imperial quarters. The guards leave me there alone, with nothing but my thoughts and my fear. Hours pass. The sun sets, and the room grows dark. I sit in the corner, my knees drawn to my chest, and I wait. The door opens. The Emperor stands in the doorway, his face illuminated by the flickering light of a single candle. He steps inside and closes the door behind him. You are a difficult woman to find, he says, his voice soft and dangerous. But I always find what I am looking for. I do not answer. I do not move. I just watch him, my eyes cold and unblinking. I have decided, he says, that you will be my consort. You will stay here, in the palace, by my side. You will be my advisor, my confidant, my companion. You will help me rule this kingdom, and together, we will be unstoppable. I want to laugh. I want to scream. But I do neither. I simply look at him, and I see the truth in his eyes. He is not offering me power. He is offering me a cage. A gilded, beautiful cage, but a cage nonetheless. And if I refuse, I ask. His smile widens. You will not refuse. Because if you refuse, the village where you found refuge will burn. The innkeeper who took you in will be executed. Everyone you cared for will be punished. You are not just protecting yourself, Lin Yuxiang. You are protecting them. I feel the blood drain from my face. He has found my weakness. He has found the one thing I cannot sacrifice. He has played his hand, and he has won. I accept, I say, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. The Emperor smiles, and for a moment, he looks like a child who has gotten everything he ever wanted. I knew you would see reason, he says. You will be crowned at dawn. He leaves me alone, and I sit in the darkness, my heart a cold stone in my chest. I thought I had won. I thought I had escaped. But the game is never over. And the Emperor is the most dangerous player of all. I close my eyes, and I make a new plan. I will play his game. I will smile and bow and obey. But I will never stop fighting. I will never stop scheming. I will find a way to break his grip on me, and I will make him pay for every moment of this captivity. The dawn comes, cold and gray. I am dressed in silks and jewels, my hair pinned and perfumed. I am led to the throne room, where the courtiers gather to watch my coronation. The Emperor stands at the throne, his face beaming with triumph. And as I kneel before him, I see a familiar face in the crowd. General Wei. He is there, his expression unreadable. He meets my eyes, and I see a flicker of something in his gaze. A promise. A plan. The game is not over. It has only just begun. The coronation is a spectacle of silk and gold. I stand at the Emperor's side, my face a mask of serene acceptance, while inside I am a storm of fury and despair. The courtiers bow and scrape, offering their congratulations, their eyes gleaming with jealousy and suspicion. They do not trust me. They do not like me. They see me as an upstart, a nobody who somehow clawed her way to the top. They are right, but they do not know the half of it. The Emperor's hand rests on my shoulder, heavy and possessive. He is a collector of beautiful things, and I am his newest prize. He whispers sweet nothings in my ear, promises of power and influence, but I hear only the clink of chains. I have traded one cage for another, and this one is gilded and suffocating. General Wei does not approach me. He stands at the edge of the crowd, his face impassive, but his eyes speak volumes. He is watching, waiting, calculating. I do not know what he has planned, but I know he is not a man who gives up easily. He will find a way to help me, or he will find a way to use me. Either way, I am not alone. The days that follow are a blur of ceremonies and courtly intrigue. The emperor keeps me close, parading me before his ministers and advisors, showing me off like a trophy. He calls me his little strategist, his wise counsel, and the courtiers pretend to be impressed. But I see the whispers behind their hands. I see the alliances forming against me. The Empress's faction has not been destroyed. It has simply gone underground. Her allies are still in place, biding their time, waiting for an opportunity to strike. They see me as a threat, and they are right. I am a threat. I am a threat to everything they have built, everything they have worked for. And I will not stop until I have torn it all down. One evening, the emperor summons me to his private chambers. He is in a mood, restless and agitated. He paces the room, his hands clasped behind his back, his brow furrowed with worry. There is a rebellion brewing in the north, he says, his voice sharp. The northern warlords are gathering their forces. They are preparing to march on the capital. I keep my face neutral. I know about the rebellion. I knew about it in my past life. It was the northern warlords who ultimately overthrew the emperor, who burned the forbidden city to the ground and scattered his ashes to the wind. In my past life, I died before I could see it happen. But I know the shape of it. I know the players. I know the outcome. Your Majesty, I say, my voice calm and measured, the northern warlords are formidable, but they are not invincible. They have been planning this for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. If you send an army to meet them, you will be playing into their hands. They know the terrain. They know the weather. They will use it to their advantage. He stops pacing and turns to look at me. His eyes are sharp, assessing. Then what would you have me do? I take a slow breath. This is dangerous. This is the moment where I can either help him or destroy him. I have not decided yet. Send a diplomat, I say. A skilled negotiator who can speak to the warlords, who can offer them terms. They are not united. Some of them are loyal to the throne. Some of them are simply looking for a better deal. If you can split them, if you can turn their allies against them, you will win without shedding a drop of blood. The emperor studies me for a long moment. Then he smiles. It is a cold, predatory smile, and it makes my skin crawl. You are brilliant, he says. You are the most brilliant woman I have ever met. I knew I made the right choice in bringing you here. He does not ask me who I would send. He does not ask me for my advice on the details. He is using me, just as my sister used me, just as everyone has always used me. But I do not care. I have planted a seed. I have started a process. And I will see where it leads. The next day, I am summoned to General Wei's quarters. He is waiting for me in his private study, his face dark with anger. You are playing a dangerous game, he says, his voice low, suggesting diplomacy. The northern warlords will not accept terms. They want blood. They want the emperor's head on a pike. Perhaps, I say, my voice steady. But they also want gold. They want land. They want power. And they are not unified. If we can break their alliance, if we can turn one of them against the others, we can win this without a war. He shakes his head. You are too young to understand the nature of men like that. They do not negotiate. They do not compromise. They take what they want, and they destroy anyone who gets in their way. Then we will destroy them first, I say. We will outmaneuver them. We will outthink them. We will use their own arrogance against them. General Wei looks at me, and I see a flicker of something in his eyes. Respect, perhaps. Or fear. I cannot tell. You are not like any woman I have ever met, he says. You are not like anyone I have ever met. I do not respond. There is nothing to say. I am exactly who I was made to be, forged in the fires of betrayal and death. I am a weapon, and I am learning how to aim myself. The weeks that follow are a dance of shadows and whispers. The emperor sends his diplomat to the north, and I watch as the warlords begin to fracture. Some of them accept the offers. Some of them reject them outright. But the alliance is weakened. The rebellion is stalling. And the emperor is pleased. He rewards me with more jewels, more silks, more titles. He showers me with affection, calling me his treasure, his precious jewel. I smile and nod and accept it all, but inside I am a furnace of hatred. He has caged me. He has stolen my freedom. And I will make him pay. One night, I receive a message. It is delivered by a servant, a slip of paper hidden in the folds of my sleeve. I wait until I am alone, and I read it by the light of a single candle. The handwriting is sharp and angular. It is from General Wei. Meet me in the Eastern Garden at midnight. Come alone. I do not hesitate. I dress in dark robes and slip out of my chambers, my heart pounding in my chest. The Eastern Garden is a maze of hedges and stone paths, its shadows deep and menacing. I find General Wei waiting for me beneath a willow tree, his face barely visible in the moonlight. We do not have much time, he says, his voice a barely audible whisper. I have received word from my spies in the north. The warlords are planning something. A massive assault on the capital. They are not waiting for the rebellion to gather strength. They are striking now. I feel the blood drain from my face. When within the month, he says. The emperor does not know. His diplomats are feeding him lies. They are telling him the negotiations are proceeding. They are buying time for the warlords to attack. Who is behind it, I ask. Who is feeding him the lies, the empress's allies, he says. They have infiltrated his inner circle. They are waiting for the warlords to attack. They will open the gates from the inside, and the city will fall. I feel the pieces clicking into place. The empress is gone, but her allies remain. They are using the rebellion as a cover. They are going to destroy the emperor, and they are going to use me as their scapegoat. What do we do? I ask. General Wei looks at me, and his eyes are hard and cold. We do what we have always done. We survive. And we fight. We do not have a plan. Not yet. But we have each other. And we have knowledge. We know the enemy. We know their moves. We can still win. The days pass, and I move through the forbidden city like a ghost. I watch the courtiers. I listen to their whispers. I gather information, piece by piece. I learn the names of the Empress's allies. I learn their weaknesses. I learn how to destroy them. The Emperor is oblivious. He is too busy celebrating his victory, too busy reveling in his power, to see the trap closing around him. I try to warn him, but he does not listen. He dismisses my concerns, laughing them off as the worries of a woman. You are too cautious, he says. You are too afraid. But I am the Emperor. No one can touch me. He is wrong. And I will not let his arrogance doom us all. One evening, I make a decision. I cannot save the Emperor. He is too blind, too stubborn, too convinced of his own invincibility. But I can save myself. I can save General Wei. I can save the people who matter. I send a message to General Wei. Meet me in the Western Tower. Midnight. Come with your most trusted men. He comes, of course. He comes because he trusts me, because he knows I would not call him unless it was important. We stand in the tower, looking out over the city, and I tell him the truth. The Emperor will not listen, I say. He will not act. He will let the warlords destroy him. And we will go down with him if we do not act first. General Wei nods slowly. What are you suggesting? I am suggesting that we take matters into our own hands, I say. The warlords are coming. We cannot stop them. But we can survive them. We can find a place of safety. We can gather our allies. We can prepare for the aftermath. You are talking about abandoning the city, he says, his voice flat. I am talking about living to fight another day, I say. The Emperor is a lost cause. But the kingdom is not. We can rebuild. We can restore order. We can create something better. But only if we survive. General Wei looks at me for a long moment. Then he nods. I will prepare my men, he says. We will leave at dawn. The night of the attack, I do not sleep. I stand at the window of my chambers, watching the horizon, waiting for the first sign of the warlord's approach. The sky is dark and clear, the stars glittering like diamonds. It is almost peaceful. The first flames appear just before dawn. The northern warlords have attacked the outer walls, and the city is in chaos. The guards are overwhelmed. The courtiers are fleeing. The Emperor is screaming orders that no one obeys. I do not wait. I gather my belongings and slip out of my chambers. General Wei is waiting for me in the courtyard, a contingent of his men at his back. They are mounted and ready. Come, he says, offering me his hand. It is time. I take his hand, and he pulls me onto his horse. We ride through the streets of the Forbidden City, past the burning buildings and the screaming people. The city is dying around us, but we are alive. We're escaping. We reach the gates just as the warlords break through. The fighting is fierce, bloody, desperate. General Wei's men carve a path through the chaos, cutting down anyone who stands in our way. I hold on tight, my eyes closed, my heart pounding. We make it out. We ride through the countryside, away from the city, away from the flames. I do not look back. I cannot bear to see what I have left behind. We ride for hours, until the horses are exhausted and we can go no further. We stop in a small village, hidden in the mountains. General Wei's men set up a camp, and we rest. I sit by the fire, staring into the flames. I am free. I have escaped. But I have left a trail of destruction behind me. The Emperor is dead. The Forbidden City is burning. The kingdom is in chaos. And I am responsible. General Wei sits beside me, his face grim. We will rebuild, he says. We will restore order. We will create something better. I know, I say. But I do not know if I can bear the weight of what I have done. He looks at me, his eyes soft and sad. You did what you had to do. You survived. That is all that matters. I nod, but I do not believe him. I have survived. I have escaped. But I have become something I did not want to become. I have become a player in the game. And I do not know if I can ever go back to being just a pawn. The mountain village is small and poor, its people wary of strangers. They do not ask questions. They do not want to know who we are or where we came from. They simply offer us shelter and food, and we accept it with gratitude. I sleep in a barn, wrapped in a threadbare blanket, and for the first time in months, I dream of nothing. But the peace does not last. News travels fast, even in the mountains. The Forbidden City has fallen. The Emperor is dead, his body lost in the flames. The northern warlords have taken control of the capital, and they are hunting down anyone who served the old regime. My name is on their list. I am a fugitive, a wanted woman, and there is nowhere in the kingdom I can hide. General Wei finds me in the barn, his face drawn and tired. We cannot stay here, he says. The warlords have spies everywhere. They will find us. It is only a matter of time. Then where do we go, I ask. There is nowhere left. He looks at me, and I see something in his eyes that I have not seen before. Hope. There is a place, he says. A fortress in the southern mountains. It was built by my ancestors, hidden from the world. No one knows it exists. We can go there. We can regroup. We can plan our next move. I nod. I do not ask questions. There is no point. I have trusted him this far, and I will trust him a little further. The journey to the fortress takes weeks. We travel by night, avoiding the main roads, staying hidden in the forests and hills. The men are tired and hungry, but they do not complain. They follow General Wei without question, and they follow me because he tells them to. I am not their leader. I am not their commander. I am simply the woman who saved their general's life, and that is enough. The fortress is everything he promised. It is carved into the side of a mountain, its walls thick and its gates strong. It is hidden by a forest of ancient trees, their branches so dense that the sun barely penetrates the canopy. It is a place of refuge, a place of safety. And it is ours. We settle in, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I allow myself to hope. We have food. We have water. We have weapons. We have each other. It is not much, but it is enough. Weeks pass. General Wei's men train and prepare, waiting for the day when we will return to the capital and reclaim what is ours. I spend my days in the fortress's small library, reading through the ancient texts that line its shelves. I am looking for answers. I am looking for a way to defeat the warlords, a way to restore order, a way to rebuild the kingdom. And then, one night, I find it. It is a small scroll, hidden in a dusty corner of the library. It is written in a language I do not recognize, its characters strange and ancient. But the seal at the bottom is unmistakable. It is the seal of the Empress Dowager. I take the scroll to General Wei. He studies it for a long moment, his brow furrowed. I cannot read this, he says. It is an old dialect. One that has not been spoken for centuries. Then we need to find someone who can, I say. Someone who knows the old ways. He looks at me, and I see the doubt in his eyes. There is no one, he says. The old ways are dead. They died with the old dynasty. Then we will bring them back, I say. We will find someone who remembers. We will find someone who can teach us. And so we search. We send out scouts, men who are loyal and brave, men who will not betray us. They travel to the far corners of the kingdom, seeking out the wise women and the scholars, the keepers of the old knowledge. It takes weeks, months. But finally, one of the scouts returns. He brings with him an old woman, her face weathered and her eyes sharp. She is a scholar of the ancient texts, a keeper of the old ways. She is the last of her kind. Her name is Mother Hua, and she is the most remarkable woman I have ever met. She is patient and wise, and she teaches me to read the ancient scroll. She teaches me about the old dynasty, the one that fell 1,000 years ago. She teaches me about the prophecies, the ones that speak of a woman who will rise from the ashes and restore the kingdom. You are that woman, she says one evening, her voice soft and steady. You are the one the prophecies speak of. You will bring the kingdom back from the brink of ruin. You will build something new, something better. I do not believe her. I am just a girl, a pawn who survived against all odds. I am not a savior. I am not a hero. I am just someone who wants to live. But as I read the scroll, I begin to see the truth. The old dynasty was not perfect. It was corrupt and decadent, just like the new one. But it had a vision. It had a plan. It had a way of governing that was fair and just, a way that could be revived and adapted. And I begin to realize that I can be the one to do it. The day of our return to the capital is cold and gray. We march out of the fortress, an army of 1,000 men, their swords sharp and their hearts full of purpose. I ride at General Wei's side, my back straight and my eyes fixed on the horizon. The capital is in chaos. The northern warlords have turned on each other, their alliance shattered by greed and ambition. They're fighting among themselves, tearing the city apart from the inside. It is the perfect opportunity for us to strike. We attack at dawn, our forces sweeping through the gates like a wave of steel and fire. The warlords are caught off guard. They do not expect us. They do not know who we are or where we came from. They are confused and terrified, and they fall before us like wheat before a scythe. I do not fight. I am not a warrior. But I am a leader, and I lead from the front. I ride through the streets, my voice ringing out, calling for peace. Lay down your arms, I shout. Surrender, and you will be spared. Fight, and you will die. Some of them surrender. Some of them fight. The battle is bloody and brutal, but in the end, we are victorious. The warlords are defeated, their forces scattered or destroyed. The capital is ours. I stand in the throne room, looking out over the city. The Forbidden City is in ruins, its walls blackened by fire, its gardens trampled and destroyed. But it is mine. It is all mine. General Wei kneels before me, his head bowed. What is your command, my lady? He asks. I look at him, and I see the loyalty and the hope in his eyes. He believes in me. He trusts me. He will follow me anywhere. Rebuild, I say. Rebuild the city. Rebuild the kingdom. Rebuild everything that was lost. We will create something better. We will create a kingdom that is fair and just, a kingdom where no one is a pawn, where no one is a sacrifice. He nods, and I see the fire in his eyes. He will do as I command. He will help me build my vision. The weeks and months that follow are a blur of work and planning. We rebuild the Forbidden City, stone by stone. We restore the gardens, plant new trees, bring life back to the dead earth. We gather the survivors, the people who were scattered by the war, and we bring them home. I am crowned empress. It is not a title I sought, but it is one I will bear with dignity and strength. I will rule this kingdom, and I will rule it well. General Wei stands at my side, my most trusted advisor, my closest friend. There is no romance between us. There is no love. There is only trust and loyalty and the shared vision of a better world. But there is one thing I have not done. One thing I have been too afraid to face. My sister, Lin Miling. She is alive. She escaped the palace during the attack, and she has been hiding in the countryside, waiting for her moment to strike. I know she is still out there. I know she is still scheming. And I know she will not stop until she has destroyed me. One evening, I receive a message. It is delivered by a servant, a folded piece of paper sealed with red wax. I break the seal and read the words inside. Meet me in the Eastern Garden. Come alone. Or everyone you love will die. It is my sister's handwriting. I recognize it immediately, the sharp, elegant strokes that have haunted me my entire life. I do not hesitate. I dress in dark robes and slip out of my chambers, my heart pounding in my chest. The Eastern Garden is just as I remember it, a maze of hedges and stone paths, its shadows deep and menacing. My sister is waiting for me beneath the willow tree, just as she always has. She is thinner than I remember, her face gaunt and her eyes wild. She looks like a ghost, a remnant of the woman she used to be. You came, she says, her voice a hoarse whisper. I knew you would. Of course I came, I say. You are my sister. I have always come when you called. She laughs, a bitter, hollow sound. Sister. Do you still think of me as a sister after everything I have done to you, after everything I have taken from you? I do not answer. There is no point. We both know the truth. I should have killed you, she says, her voice sharp and cold. I should have killed you when I had the chance. But I was weak. I was foolish. And now I am paying the price. You are not paying the price, I say. You are still alive. You are still free. You could walk away from this. You could start over, build a new life. She shakes her head. There is no new life for me. There is only revenge. You took everything from me. You took my power, my position, my future. You took it all, and now I will take everything from you. She reaches into her sleeve, and I know what she is going to do. I have seen this moment before. I have lived it before. She is going to pull out a needle, a small, poison needle, and she is going to kill me. But I am not the same girl I was before. I am not the pawn who died in her sister's schemes. I am the Empress. I am the survivor. And I will not die again. I know what you are holding, I say, my voice calm and steady. I know what you are planning. But you are too late. I have already won. The kingdom is mine. The people are mine. You have nothing left. She lunges, the needle glinting in the moonlight. I do not move. I do not flinch. I let her come, and when she is close enough, I reach out and grab her wrist. She struggles, her eyes wide with shock and rage. But I am stronger than I look. I have been forged in fire and pain, and I will not break. Let me go, she hisses. Let me go, or I will kill you. You cannot kill me, I say. I have already died once. I am not afraid of death. But you are. You have always been afraid. That is why you do what you do. That is why you scheme and plot and betray. You are afraid of being nothing. She stops struggling. Her eyes meet mine, and I see the truth in them. She is afraid. She has always been afraid. Please, she whispers. Please, Yuseong. I am your sister. I am all you have left. I look at her, this woman who has caused me so much pain, and I feel a flicker of something I did not expect. Pity. I release her wrist, and she stumbles back, the needle falling to the ground. Go, I say. Leave this place. Leave the kingdom. I will not harm you. I will not hunt you. But you must never come back. She stares at me, her eyes filled with disbelief. You are letting me go. I am giving you a chance, I say. A chance to start over. A chance to be something other than what you have become. It is more than you ever gave me. She hesitates. For a moment, I think she is going to pick up the needle and try again. But then she turns and runs, disappearing into the shadows of the garden. I watch her go, and I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. It is over. The past is finally behind me. I walk back to the palace, my steps slow and deliberate. The stars are out, bright and beautiful, and the air is cool and clean. I am free. I am finally, truly free. I am empress of a kingdom that was torn apart and rebuilt. I am a survivor, a leader, a symbol of hope. I am the woman who rose from the ashes and created something new. And as I stand on the balcony of the Forbidden City, looking out over the city I have saved, I make a promise to myself. I will never be a pawn again. I will never be a sacrifice. I will be the one who moves the pieces, the one who decides the fate of nations. The game is over. And I have won.